Alrighty, so now we're going to be moving on to the 6,000, 8,000 realm of polishing. And we're going to be using this stuff here. This is the Mr. Hobby polishing cloths. 6,000, of course, and 8,000 grit. Now, the funny thing about this stuff, and no, it wasn't $110, it was 110 yen, which is basically $1.10 somewhere in there. I did order this on Amazon. It did come out of Japan. It did take forever to get here. It was still, you know, the closing act of COVID. So I ordered it from Amazon, but we still had to get it out of Japan. If I can find the links to everything, I will post them in the videos. Down below in the descriptions, of course, so that you can peruse those yourself. I get no kickbacks and any of that stuff. I'm just passing on to you guys what we like to use here and what our good friend John suggested. You know what? I'm going to open this up here off camera because it is very noisy. Okay, so we've taken them out of the noisy plastic package and cut them into little squarish shapes. And I like the fact that they are two different colors because it is hard to tell by just rubbing the old thumb over there which is which. So it's kind of nice to have the color coding on there. So look at this. Good job, Brian. So apparently that's the 6,000, that's 8,000. So we're going to start with the 6, of course. And in the last video, I spent too much time talking. I apologize. I was being kind of chatty. That's what happens when you start filming after having a mouthful of M&Ms. So, oh, and I have changed out my water since the 5,000 grit escapade. So we are going to get in there. And again, we can hear that biting in there. We can feel a little bit of a drag. Oh, what a drag. Gonna go across that sweaty brow. Yeah, that's feeling pretty good. I hope you guys can hear this on your TVs or phones or headphones. So keeping our fingers generally placed underneath where we're working. All right, let's check and see how it's going. Let me get a new paper towel. I don't want to reuse the old one. And a little extra help there. Even more shinage coming up. That is awesome. That is awesome. So we are basically going to go over this whole body again. And I tell you what, by the time we got done doing all these steps and going over this body over and over and over again, be able to draw this in my sleep probably. But when I'm working with this stuff, with these sanding pads and these sanding film, this is more of like a cloth type of thing. Like this is called a polishing cloth. When I'm working with these guys here, I like to follow the contours of the vehicle. So going over the rounded areas, kind of following that rounded area there, because I don't want to change the shape of anything. I want to follow the contours of it all. It's kind of like going with the grain sort of thing. So we're not here to knock anything down or master anything. We're just here to, let's talk about this little guy here. And you'll have to forgive the fact that the air conditioner is kicking on and off because it's the first day over 90 degrees here. There we go. Flick that open so we don't put it face down. Give her a swipe with the drawing cloth. I did not know this, but I just found this out recently talking to a friend of mine that's in the UK. This is known as kitchen paper. How cool is that? Dumb hand. Dumb hand, dumb hand, dumb hand. All right, let's get this a little bit wetter. There we go. Right, so we're just going to go around the whole thing with the 6,000 and just bring out the paint even better. So I'm not going to subject you all to that, because it's probably going to be another 25 minutes of me just doing that and maybe telling all sorts of stupid dad jokes or whistling or singing or something. And usually the words of the songs that I whistle or sing, most likely sing, will not be YouTube friendly. So we're going to go ahead and sign off for right now. Let's just drill in a little bit. There we go. Sign off right now, and we'll come back when we have something to show you. Okay, well, that took a little longer than I expected, because Mrs. Beachy called, and I was texting with some friends, and my friend John, who actually I'm using his technique, he called also. So suddenly we got very popular, but I'm not complaining, because it was nice to talk to all those folks, especially Mrs. Beachy. So 6,000 is done. Can you see a difference? I could feel a difference while I was working on it. I could, you know, I was getting a little bit on the squeaky side, so that's good. That's really, really good. That's a good sign. Yeah, you know, I need to pull back a little bit there. That's a little better. There we go. But yeah, you can actually start to see some gloss in there and stuff. That's coming up pretty well. So we're going to move on to the 8,000, which is the brown. Here it is. Here's a patch here. Now this is already wet, and that's because while I was on the phone with everybody, I was goofing around with my hood from my Mercury over here, and I was like, hey, I got this up to 8,000, and just going around with it. This I cleared with Future Floor Polish like about 10 years ago, and I'm like, oh, that's probably dry now. So we had brush strokes in it and stuff. It didn't look very good. So this technique actually worked pretty well on that. So that's pretty cool. See how that goes. Put that back there. But I was starting to get color from the hood on the Mercury. So I was like, oh, well, we burned through that. Okay. So we're going to move on to the 8,000 on this guy here, and we'll go with the roof. The roof. Yes, the roof is on fire. What is this? Is that just some schmutz? Okay, good. There we go. Tappa, tappa, tappa. All right. Some more swirlies. Not like the swirlies we used to get in school. I don't know if that ever happened to you guys, but it used to happen once in a while. Anyway, I'm digressing. And again, we can hear that cutting in. I'm just kind of doing the edges here. And then I'm going to come back and do the field after a dunk. Again, very, very light pressure, practically no pressure at all. That's how I like things, no pressure at all. Those are my favorite group belts. All right, give this some help. Yeah, it's the special lung-powered air dryer. There. Okay, so it's hazy still, of course, but we're just getting to the good stuff here, guys. So yeah, that's gonna look pretty sweet. Let's move on down to the rear deck lid. Let's see if we can zoom in a little bit. Ooh, that's pretty. Ooh, that's got some junk on it. There we go. All right. Man, that's a cool color. I'll have to call up my buddy over at Splash Paints and order a case of this stuff, because I'm using it on everything. It's going to be like Frank's Red Hot Sauce. I was teasing Pappy on a live stream a couple weeks ago about him and his Pappy Red TS8, Italian red. We call it Pappy Red. And I was teasing that he uses that. He's like, it's like Frank's Red Hot Sauce. He uses that stuff on everything. I think it's cool to have a signature color. There we go. Yeah, I can feel that biting, and I'm going to move to a different area of the pad. There we go. apologize if this is wiggling around too much. I'm having a hard time bracing my arm, holding it out in front of the camera. There we go, there we go. And see how this is curling? I just hang it on the edge of the dish like that. Let's see here. I need to practice my Bob Ross under my breath speaking. You don't want happy accidents when polishing clear coat. I don't think there are any happy accidents with polishing clear coat. Yeah, buddy. Oh, yeah, that's looking sweet. What's going on with this area right here? Let's take a look at that. There we go. Did that do anything? It helped it a little bit. I think I just got like I nicked it with my fingernail or something, and it's just a little weird. There we go. Take that back on the bowl. And then we beat the devil out of it. Okay. Yeah, it's looking good. All right, cool. Sweet. So again, the whole process, going over the whole body. We just did the roof and the trunk lid, the deck lid area, and now we're going to move on to the rest of the car body, and we'll come back to you when that's all done. All right, so I actually finished doing the 8,000 on the body just now. That was an interesting thing to do. I played a video while I was working on this. I was watching Grumpy Greg's, and he was talking about shop cards and such, and that video was like 10.5 minutes long, and that's about how long it took me to finish off the body here with the 8,000. And again, you can see we're getting some nice shine here and there, starting to get polished up, so it's really starting to come alive. Okay, now next we're going to be using this stuff here, and I did misspeak earlier. I apologize for doing this, but I did misspeak earlier. We are still using the water between the sanding sponges, the 5,000 and the 3,000, 5,000, and then we're still using the water between the sanding pads, the 8,000 and 6,000. And now when we move into the paste waxes and gels and such, we will be using the speed shine in between. So this helps clean off the stuff there a little bit better than just using water. So we're going to go ahead and get set up for that stuff, and then we'll be back. All right, we are now set up to start moving on to the liquid portion of today's program. We went out and got the a brand new microfiber cloth. I have I got them at Costco, like a big thing of like 30 of them or whatever. Lasts for forever, as long as you keep them in a nice clean place. But I keep them in the package, so they stay clean. But did you know that you're not supposed to run these through a clothes dryer? You're supposed to hang dry them or line dry them after you've washed them, because the clothes dryer is just warm enough to actually melt the tips of the microfiber, and that can cause scratching and stuff. So I didn't know that. I watched that on it was Adam Savage on his tested.com show on YouTube. So the things you find out. So you got that there, and then we have our she ain't pretty. She's not pretty. This is one of those little Buffy wheel things. Got this from a buddy James a long time ago, and I haven't used it very often. I have a second one that's a little bit better looking. This one's from Proxon. This one's a little bit got a smaller nap to it than this guy. I'm going to start off with this one here, and then I'll go on to the other one when we get to the finer compounds. But yeah, this is just the Dremel Micro. It goes down to what they consider 0, which is great, or 5,000 RPM, I believe. And when you start this guy off, yeah, he starts at 15, and you have to back him down to 5. And usually 5 is the way to go. But the thing about this dude here is it's easier for me to hold, and that light makes all the difference in the world. That light does. So that really helps out. We'll switch him off right now. But yeah, we're going to start out. Oh, also, I changed out the bowl of water, so we still have some more water here with some more dish detergent in there. And that's sometimes I'll dip these guys in there to help clean them out a little bit, and then stand back when you fire it up, because boy, that can be messy. Now, I'm going to start off with the Scratch X, and this has been a while since I've used this. We're going to shake this guy up a bit. And a good thing I didn't put a BB in this one, because that was a travesty when that happened. I had to clear off my desk from that panel liner. Man, I was finding all kinds of parts I'd been missing. I found everything except a chunk of glass that broke out of the bottle. All right, that's just wanting to pour right out of there. I'm gonna get a Q-tip and get some off of there. Okay, and then up on the roof. Just that's probably a little too much. There we go. Set that aside, and then we're gonna mop it around. Well, Brian, why aren't you? What? Why aren't you using the tool? Well, we will. All right, now I'm going to switch this on, and I'm going to hold this down close to the floor, so whatever comes flying off there just goes on the floor and not on me. Or anything near me. And then just like that. Hardly any pressure at all. All right. Speed shine. Give it a couple spritzes. Ooh, that smells good. It smells like a Slurpee or a slushy or something, like a wild cherry or something. That came up a lot. I'm gonna give that another pass. I can feel the grit in that with my fingertip. Okay. I don't know why these switch on at like Mach 30,000, but you know. Man, I love the smell of that stuff. That is good. Bofa. Look at that. Cha-ching. Man, that looks cool. All right, so I mean that's just the first couple passes of the Scratch X stuff. And we still got to do the polish, and then of course when the polish is done, the wax. So we're going to go ahead and do the rest of the car body with the Scratch X stuff, and then we'll come back and show you how that's looking. Alrighty, so that took another, I don't know, about 10 minutes, 10-12 minutes to finish off the body with the Scratch X. And I really like how it's looking. I tell you what, I really like how it's looking. Yeah, she's doing good. So there's a little bit of haze here and there still, but that's probably because when we were cleaning it off, you know, there's a little bit of residue on there still. I'm going to go over the whole thing again with another quick splash of speed shine and see if we can't get off any of the haze there, because that could just be paste left over from the scratch X that we did. I did squirt some into a little bit of a little cup here so I could just dip the Q-tip in there. That was a lot better than trying to go back to the bottle and putting it on there, because it was coming out like, well, yeah, we'll just leave it at that. But yeah, we're really liking how she's looking, and she's coming back really nicely. So yes, sir. Whoops, don't knock that over there, buddy. But yeah, she's looking really, really awesome. Now we're going to move on to the polish of Niall. No, we're going to move to this polish stuff here, the ultimate polish, the pre-waxing glaze. This is another step that's going to help bring out the paint even more. Wow, wow, wow. It's going to be holographic like that. No, I don't know if it's going to be holographic or not, but it's going to be, it's part of the process, guys. It's part of the process. So we're going to move on to that bit. And then, as a matter of fact, I tell you what, this is getting to be a long video in its own right. We've done a lot of stuff to this little guy here, and I think what we're going to do is call us quits for this segment, for this part 2, and then we'll move on to part 3, where we do the ultimate polish, this guy here, and then of course the poly wax, and then we'll see what you guys think. So we're going to go ahead and end it here, and we'll talk to you in the next one. Thanks again for watching and sticking with us. Appreciate that very, very much, and we'll talk to you in a little bit.